Welcome to Climbing Technique Tuesdays. My goal is to help you learn new techniques, reinforce ones you may already know, get tips from pros, and go beyond the technique into the finer details. Learn, practice, send. My name is Albert Oak, and this is Technique Tuesdays. So let's talk about momentum. Momentum is around us everywhere and virtually in every physical sport. It's what allows us to walk, run, do flips, and even run into walls. But at the core of it, and by core I mean literally our core, it's the center of our mass that carries us to our destinations. When we look at walking, our legs drive us, but it's our center of mass that is really moving forward. It's even more apparent in a flip since it's our center of mass going over our head that allows us to finish the flip. When momentum is generated to move our center of mass, you get experiences kind of like these. Or maybe just climbing normally is fine as well. You see, our center of mass is often associated with our hips. Since that's the closest commonly nameable part of our body, that is where our center of mass exists for simplicity's sake. Now, some people will have a center of mass that is technically at a different part of their body, maybe a little bit more up or down, but to make things easier to understand, let's just focus on the hips and how they move, since that is generally what we would consider the center of our mass. In climbing, since the objective often is to go up, we have to figure out how to create momentum to go upwards. So try this really quick. Get in a wide stance squat and stand up a few times. Now do that rapidly. Then magically teleport to the climbing gym because now you're a climber and this is your life and it fully consumes you. I'm not addicted to climbing, I can stop anytime. Let's try that same movement we just did on flat ground but on the wall. Standing up is now generating momentum for us to go upwards. It's extremely common to see climbers that are beginners to try and pull their body in with their arms instead of pushing with their legs. You'll end up seeing their arms locked close to their body and pulling as much as they can. This is a very inefficient way to climb and gets you tired very quick. And by the end of the session, you'll be on the floor in pain, not because you just body slammed the wall, but because your forearms will be burning. Instead of climbing like this, let's use our legs as much as we can to generate our center of mass up the wall using momentum. Try this on the wall. Simply grab a good hold, stand on some footholds, and stand up as fast as you can and reach as high as you can. Look at how high your arms can go and how much distance you can cover. By pushing your legs and pulling your arms into the wall a bit, you are able to use momentum to bring your center of mass upwards and to your next hold. You can gain a lot of distance without even moving your feet any higher. It's pretty amazing. Now, how can you apply this concept? Try climbing a boulder, but making sure you have straight arms, and for every move you want to go upwards, stand with your legs and reset your feet to different footholds. That'll look something like this. Let's take it up a notch and try it going not just vertically, but adding a bit of horizontal movement. Especially with adding horizontal movement, you'll notice my hips swinging and helping me go to the direction I want to. If it's too much to think about, try going back to the basics and try to over-exaggerate your hips moving back and forth and move your feet in synchronicity with your arms to go up the wall. You'll notice my momentum shifts from left and right in order to get that horizontal movement I want to achieve, but sort of at an angle, so I'm also going upwards. Things get even trickier when you start climbing climbs that aren't on flat walls, but the concept is still generally the same. The only difference is that you have to use pulling power and bend your arms at the right moment to shift your momentum upwards to the next hold. You still want to keep your arms relatively straight as much as they can, but with practice you'll start understanding the exact moment to pull your arms into the wall and be able to move your body using momentum upwards. So to do a recap in TLDR fashion, try to climb with your arms straight, use more foot movements than you usually do to push your legs and body upwards, shifting your momentum. For horizontal movements, use your hips and swing them in the right direction, and finally succeed in sending. But Let's talk about the other end of momentum, stopping and controlling momentum. In order to explore this, I'll need the help of World Cup bouldering finalist Ross Fulkerson. Ross is a master of movement and using momentum to his advantage. You can check out his YouTube channel in the description below. We picked a few boulders around the gym with generally the same theme. A move that is complicated to generate momentum and the complicated way to stop the momentum. We started our session on this pink V7 with a section that you have to shuffle your feet on a volume and stop on 2 different holds. I struggled with this boulder and tried many times to stop with just one arm. Ross pointed out that I should try using as many limbs as possible to stop my momentum and finish the climb. This was a result of me adding my left hand into the mix.
Oh, that was the best beta.
Yeah. By adding my left hand to the mix, not only did it bring my hips closer to the wall, but it allowed me to have a point where I could stop my body from swinging out. Ross is able to see these details through years of practice and analysis. The next boulder was this blue V7 with a swinging one-leg jump. In contrast to the last boulder where my challenge was stopping my momentum, this challenge was generating momentum. The hold I land on is quite good, but it was awkward to start the swing.
Am I like forcing it too much?
I feel like your leg is doing it, but I feel like we're staying locked the whole time.
Okay, like I'll exaggerate this time, but lock. Oh jeez.
Like you can come all the way out with your arms and butt, and then just time free, like hold it.
Ross pointed out that I was keeping my body too locked up while trying this move and should be loose and have my arms less bent. Sounds familiar, huh? It allowed my hips to swing through and I finished up the climb.
Hold on. You should try that.
The next one was this tricky V8 boulder with a few difficult moves. The first move was a swing step up into a shoulder press.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Hey, walk me through this first move. You sauce it every time.
Let yourself go around this a little bit, and then fire straight up, like in between these holds, so you can stay close to the wall. You don't have to like go around this one. Awesome. Yeah. I wait to pull until I'm all the way to the right.
I think I'm like doing it too early. That looks so easy.
I struggled at first, then Ross explained the drawing a circle with my body concept.
Sick.
Hey, it works. The circles.
Yeah. Oh, pretty flexy.
The last move was a dynamic undercling move. Initially, I didn't want to do it that way and use my muscles to match the finish hold. But I tried the move in isolation once and it felt much easier.
So chill.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That was so easy!
Ross then went on to try doing the boulder in a different, more challenging way, and this was the result.
Whoa. Hi. Whoa.
Yes! That was hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
how much did your bicep have to work there?
huh?
How much did your bicep have to work?
0 at the top, but my brain had to work a lot to trust the foot.
Spicy. For reference, this is not the foot that you want in your life.
It's like so rounded too that you only have
It's like
a
not
little bit
much.
of your foot in it.
And it's slopey.
It's like that.
Yeah, you can even see where your shoe's like suffering.
Yeah.
Ross has some serious skill when it comes to controlling momentum, but at the same time, it was just taking the basic concepts of creating momentum and applying them in a more complex manner. It helped remind me how I still should and can be reminded of basics to complete more difficult climbs. The final black slab V8 had another swing jump move, but it was quite delicate. It involved jumping to a small crimp and landing on a slanted volume without slipping off. Ross explained the concept of visualizing the end position that I want to end up in rather than just grabbing the hold.
What is going on in your head when you climb this?
Okay, first I read the end position. I see that I want to be to the left of this hold and over this foot. So that puts like my hips in this area. So then like that dictates everything about how I generate. If I just want my hips here, then when I'm generating here, I'm gonna make space from the wall and then get a lot of height and try and get over this foot. Like I basically imagine if that hold wasn't there, how would I stand just over this foot? And that's exactly how I generate. And then I can just grab the hold once I'm over the foot. Yeah, so that's what
That was a nice analogy. I like that a lot. Yeah. What would happen if the hold wasn't there?
Yeah, that's what I mean by like making time over the foot. Like if the hand wasn't there, you just have to stand over the foot, and then you have all the time in the world to like be accurate with the hand or do whatever you need to do. Same with like dynamic moves. If you're doing paddles or whatever, you make time over the foot so you have time to adjust and do the whole sequence.
So things that I've learned from Ross that's important to add to your own climbing is that your goal always should be to reach the end position, not just where your hand's going to go and if you can grab the hold. When you think about climbing in a more holistic scale, we start seeing the patterns of how our momentum can carry us through the climb. When you reach the most difficult part of the climb, don't just think grab the hold. Think about how you can move your entire body, generating from the hips to the final position. To recap, focus on pushing your legs and getting your body to the next holds. Practice climbing with straight arms, and for steep climbs, feel the right moment your arms need to bend to make the moves possible. There are a lot of exercises that I think are great for this, such as one-footed climbing or just straight arm climbing in general for your warm-ups. There are so many ways you can practice this, and I want all of you to open up a conversation in the comments on how you always practice using your momentum while climbing. Keep your hips close to the wall, aim to the top, and always send as many climbs as you can. And with that, I'd like to have a huge shout out to Ross Fulkerson for being a part of this video. It couldn't have been made without him. We will definitely go more in depth on momentum and different variations of it, as well as other techniques in the future on this Technique Tuesday.
Well, thank you so much for being on this episode of Technique Tuesdays.
Thank you guys.
All of your links, of course.
Hopefully in the future I'll have my own classes like this that are walking people through these same concepts just in much more detail, and then offer in-person coaching to go along with them.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Ross is coaching, so if you want to actually learn, instead of some random guy like me on the internet just like telling you how to grab jugs.
No, Albert's the best random guy on the internet. So.
I speed climb. I don't know. That's like
no, you're not random.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, keep crushing it and keep spirit.
Action.